Hello everyone, my name is Sonal Pawar and today I'm going to talk about India's finest painter who was often known as Picasso of India, M F Husain. He had a lot of ups and downs in his life and every experience gave him a chance to explore something new, and later on he drew these experiences on the canvases. His curiosity of learning new techniques, things, desire to be always ranked number one, um, exploring new places, the simplicity and hard work made him one of the finest Indian painters of all time. Hussain was born in Pandharpur, that's in Maharashtra, and he came to Bombay determined to be a painter in year 1937. He had come from Indore that time, and when he came first time to Bombay, he didn't have a place to sleep, so he decided to sleep on streets. Well, I guess it was the Grant Road in Bombay. Next day, he woke up and he saw a large cinema hoarding being painted. And when the painters went out for a cup of tea, he climbed up and, without help of any squares, grids, he finished the whole holding. Now, when the painters came back, they were shocked to see the work was completed without squares, and they were very happy and they immediately offered a job to M F Husain. So, this is how he started his career in Bombay. He used to paint Bollywood posters, huge hoardings. So, he started painting all these huge hoardings, and his hands started getting trained in painting the large canvases. And so you can see it was so easy for him to paint on a big scale on big canvases. Now, during his struggling days, he also worked for a company which made furnitures for kids. So when you see the artworks during that period, you can understand that these paintings are for kids and they are really very beautiful. After struggle of many years, he held his first serious exhibition in 1947 at the Bombay Art Society, where he also joined, or he was the founder of the Progressive Art Group. Uh, this group was influential group of modern artists, and it was formed in 1947. Now, of course, this group didn't last for long because most of the artists left India. But still, this whole group uh, is a very important part of Indian art. Well, after 1948, Hussain started traveling throughout India. He visited Kerala, he visited the Himalayas, then he went to Rajasthan, and during his travels, he was inspired by various landscapes and different people he met. And he heard a lot of stories and traditions. And later on, you can see that this experience he painted on the canvases, the folk, the Rajasthani ladies. You can see all this on his painting during this period. Now, during maybe early 1950s, he went to Europe for first time, and he did a grand tour there, and he also had his first solo exhibition in Zurich, and he was very much impressed by Paul Keel's knowledge of Indian philosophy there. Well, one more important series, or I can say one more important subject, was women in his painting. Women have always been dominated and reoccurring theme in Hussein's work. Well, one of the reason could be he lost his mother at a very early stage, and irrespective of the subject of the painting, whether she's known as shown as a mother or a child, she's always shown in a position of strength. And one of the most important series was the Mother Teresa series, which he started working in 1980s. Well, these paintings are really very beautiful. Now, Hussein would not be content if he was like, he was not on top. He always wanted to be the number one. He always wanted to be on the top. Every time Hussein made a painting, he made sure that it fetched a better price. Now, there was this particular interview I heard, and I'll tell you one incident. In 1959, Balchabra opened a gallery, and there were other artists also, like Raza. So Raza came from Paris, and he put up his paintings, and he priced it for rupees 2,000. Now, Hussein heard this, and he said that, as though I can't make abstracts, who will pay 2,000 rupees for this? Now, very next day, he came to the gallery, removed his previous paintings, he replaced them with the abstract works. So now imagine, he worked the whole night painting abstracts, and he made sure that he got 3,000 rupees each for the paintings. So you can see that he never wanted to be second. Well, I feel Hussein, there were two painters within Hussein. One was the pure and another was popular. Of course, popular was more of the people's painter. He used to paint what people used to like. He felt that his painting should be for everyone. Now, if you see his painting, you could see his style, and his energies were full. His figures were full of energies, and the figures, even though they were not in motion, they had this rhythmic line, the sense of urgency, the broken and bold lines were there. There was a unique style of application, and you could see the restlessness. So, and there was a desire of speed. So, all this, what Hussein had, you could see it on his paintings. And this was the beauty of his artwork. Then one more thing that fascinated Hussein were the horses. He studied Asian terracotta horses during his first visit to China. That was in 1952. And then the trips to Europe, he learned about Renaissance horses. And for Hussein, horse seems to be stand for superhuman forces and powerful, not only for the stampeding arrogance, but because of its greater sophistication. Well, he also painted several themes which shows musical instruments, and these paintings personally I love a lot. He also traveled extensively through the state of Rajasthan, and the body of work produced during this trip, you can see has blazing shades of red and yellow, and uh, they look very vibrant, and they are really very stunning. Well, one more thing I would like to tell you about. I was reading this book by Najma, where she had wrote that Hussein. There was one instant where Hussein worked simultaneously on 6 canvases. She said, as children, you are taught to concentrate on one subject at a time, but he actually painted on 6 different planes at the same time. So once he had mastered the art of concentration in one thing, he could concentrate on several separate things at a time. And also, she tells that he didn't wanted to paint in alone, or he didn't mind if there were people asking him questions where he was painting. He didn't wanted to paint in silence. He was okay with people asking him questions when he was painting, taking photographs. So you can see how differently he worked. Then he never considered himself merely as a painter. He was a toy maker. He made toys when he realized after the birth of his daughter that there were not enough toys for kids to play. So you can see these small wooden crafts which he made, which had that Indian touch on them. Then he was an installation artist. He was a photographer. He made several films. Well, there was a film which he made in 1967. It's called Through the Eyes of Painter, and it won the Golden Bear Award in the Berlin Film Festival. Also, there was this movie Gajgamini with Madhuri Dixit in 2000. Well, looking at his achievements, the government of India honored him with Padma Bhushan and then Padma Vibhushan. And but he lived in a self-imposed exile from 2006. Well, he generally lived in Doha and in London after that. In 2010, he was given the Qatari nationality and he surrendered his Indian passport. Personally, I like his works between 1970s to maybe late 1980s, and especially the figuratives. Beyond the controversy, he led a splendid life, and Hussain passed away in London in 2011. Well, even he's not with us anymore, he's always remembered through his painting. Hopefully, you have liked this webinar, and if you have any uh, queries or you want to know anything more about M F Husain or want to know about Indian art market, please feel free to contact me. You can contact me on Twitter. My Twitter ID is Sonal for you. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye.